for the people who come from other countries, people tend to think that, okay, so the Japanese temple must be a place for mindfulness.
Yeah.
But actually, for regular Japanese, typical temples are not for the so-called mindfulness place, but for a place to give prayer for their ancestors.
Yeah.
So, could we start with listening to your story around your own ancestors?
Yeah. Well, my ancestors come from two different lineages, if you will, and on my mom's side are largely Scandinavian, who came from Norway and then to the Dakotas in the United States, and then to my mom, who eventually landed in California. And my dad's side, I was just talking to him about this recently. He's 87 years old, come from Ireland and Scotland, and being here. And I agree. I think one of the worries that I have about mindfulness is it's very inwardly focused, and it's focused on the sensations and breath, and which is good. But we need to be thinking outwardly and then beyond time. And it's very important for me to be here, Shokai, because my dad got me very interested in Buddhism as a young child, and you've gotten me interested in Pure Lands Buddhism and your own practices of sweeping and clearing the mind. And so being here is a way to connect to that practice in my dad's side of the family of being interested in Buddhism. And then, I would extend it, and in doing a lot of research on awe, my ancestors are also other living forms. And so the imagery here of the herons and the grasses and the trees and the blossoms also makes me feel a sense of ancestry as well.
So I would say for many Japanese, there is a routine, daily routine, to remember the connection with their ancestors. So in a typical household, the traditional household in Japan, they have a family altar at home, and every morning they change the water and put some rice as an offering, and in front of the Buddha statue, as well as the photos of their ancestors, they gave prayers. It's like a reminder of our mortality, and the fact that we will become an ancestors at the end of our life. So since you made a research on awe, and actually wrote a book, which I'm now translating into Japanese.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. From your perspective, what's the relationship awe and remembering our ancestors?
It's profound, and one of the poignant things about being here in Japan with its great traditions of revering ancestors in this temple, of people going into spaces where you have gone for hundreds of years with the same sorts of rituals of chanting and sitting, and that evokes a sense of beyond the present moment to being linked to other eras and other generations, other ancestors. And sadly, and I think it's awe-inspiring. One of the sources of awe is very often is intergenerational awareness and contact of being around grandparents and hearing the stories of their lives and sensing the continuity in your own life is awe-inspiring, very common in our research. Time also can be awe-inspiring when we have a sense of the vastness of time. And that my moment of contemplation today with you links to moments of contemplation hundreds of years back in time. It gives me goosebumps now. So this is one of the great sources of awe is ritual, time, remembering ancestors in places that we share with them. And regrettably, in the United States, this is something that's really been gutted, or it's disappearing, right? We don't spend time around our ancestors, or our grandparents who will become ancestors. We move, we are isolated from this experience. We don't go to church. 45% of Americans don't go to church or have some sort of spiritual practice. And so it's a moment of poignancy for me to be here to see that and in your temple.
There are many places in the United States where you can feel the small self effect.
Yeah.
Like, in the place like mountains and the gigantic rocks and things, and of course full of the stars, which are the small self effect in terms of space,
right?
But in terms of time, it's limited in the United States, you say.
I agree. I think so. I think we're a young country, and then we've done a lot of things, breaking apart communities, living in isolated homes where we've lost a sense of continuity and time in where we live. And so, it's missing very often in our experience of awe is the temporal dimension, which is one of the richest. So we need to learn from you.
So, is there any moment in your daily life, everyday life, when you feel you cultivate that sense in terms of time?
Yeah. Well, a couple that are really pronounced. One is having traveled to the Himalayas 5 times and done work there in Bhutan and Nepal. They have a lot of meditations that are about the cycle of time, and following people you love, imagining them being born and passing away and becoming ancestors. And so that practice, which I do once a month probably, has given me a deeper sense of time that American culture usually doesn't cultivate. And then Chokai, and you've seen, you and I have spent time together in Berkeley, and next time we're in Berkeley, I will take you to our redwood trees. And our redwood trees, some of them are the biggest living forms on Earth that we know of, 360 feet tall, and they're old, and they're hundreds of years. They're 1,000 years old. The bristlecone pine trees in the eastern Sierras are 4,000 or 5,000 years old, and I was lucky, as is often the case here in Japan, of feeling a sense of kinship with trees and other living species. And so the redwoods teach me about time very profoundly, that they were around before Westerners came to Berkeley, where I live, and they remind me of how minor my little slice of time is.
Yeah, so they've been witnessing everything.
They feel like they're witnessing.
The humans' beauty and problems.
Yes, all wrapped up into the human species.
All right, so here, let me bring a question I often ask to the leaders. How can we become good ancestor for the future generation? So is there any answer or whatever you have in your mind?
Yeah, it is, I'm a teacher. I've taught young people for 33 years as a professor. I'm a parent of 2 daughters, and I care about their friends. And I think that coming out of Buddhism, I was lucky to, as I said earlier, to be aware of Buddhism in my teenage years. First Zen, and then the Himalayan traditions and other branches of Buddhism and Taoism also. And I do agree with your thinking, Shokai, that the Western capitalist mind has led to problems of separation and exploitation and colonialism. And so I think we are in a moment in history where we have to give new ideas, or old ideas really, of interbeing, as you call it, or we're all part of something. So, and then it's interesting. I always, with my students, and when I leave this world physically, I will be an ancestor to my children and also to my students. And I want to make sure they're, the question that I really want them to ask and leave them with is like, what do you really care about? And where do you find a sense of spirit? And so I am very happy, for example, both my daughters are interested in Buddhism and yoga. And that's all, in my fractured life in the United States, without the rituals of this temple to house continuity, I've given that to them. And so I think we want to give the next generation new ideas about how to be in the world.
Yeah, beautiful. So when it comes to becoming a good ancestor, people often think in this way. Okay, so what can we leave for the future generation? But I ask one more thing. At the same time, when you think about what we can leave for the future generation, we need to consider what we stop to stop to do, or what we should not leave for the future generation. In other words, from the good ancestor perspective, in a long-term thinking, as long as you breathe in the air of this moment, 2025, whether you are a young baby or very old guy, we are in the same generation, right? So in this sense, as the same generation, breathing in the same air in 2025, what can we stop doing? What should we not leave for the future generation?
Well, you're asking a very provocative question, Shokai, because it seemed I come from the United States, and I think we're doing a lot of things that we need to stop doing. I think we need to stop thinking so much about the self. We need to, first and foremost, psychologically, we need to stop losing our consciousness in digital platforms, and we need to return to direct experience and interbeing, as you would call it. We need to stop the kind of the Abrahamic ideas about great chain of being and humans at top, and we're a special species. Those are our outdated ideas. So I come from a country where there are a lot of things we need to stop doing, and I hope we can learn from other cultures and start to make progress on that, because we're really threatening a lot of things.
Yeah, but everyone in every culture can learn from other culture.
Yeah.
So as a Japanese, I have a lot of things to learn from the people in the United States.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
With humility.
With humility. Yeah, humility. Humility is one of the thing the founder of Jodo Shinshu emphasized. Yeah. So it's better to cultivate our sense of openness to unknown. Yeah. So my answer my answer is always different from my own question, but today my answer is so it's good to stop our tendency to control everything. Yeah. Then we see this world is full of unknown, interesting things in a fresh way.
Yeah, I feel Charles Darwin is my hero, and scientifically, and he really made fundamental discoveries about what is life and nature, and he was forever curious and humble and really interested in the unknown, about why we are who we are. And I think he is an expression in the scientific world of just what it means to be humble and curious about the unknown. And it's always I think it's one of the great qualities of the human mind, is that we find it fascinating what's unknown and beautiful. So let's hope for more.
Yeah. Then the world is full of awe.
It is. Very much so.
Thank you so much for joining this program, DUCHER.
I will always be in conversation with you, Shokai. It's always an honor. I always learn things.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.